What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nick Magnet here,
And I'm Cherie Magnet.
and this is
Team Magnet TV.
So, to kind of let you guys know what this topic is about, we're gonna tell you all about the show Black Lightning. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see it, but it's on the CW and it's a DC TV show. It's pretty interesting, and I like it because of the fact that it portrays another black superhero. So kind of like Black Panther, I had to talk about it because you know how much I love talking about black superheroes and superheroes of color in general. So anyway, so I want to kind of give you all a review of this episode that we recently seen. It was from season 1, episode 6 of Black Lightning, and we're just going to talk to you all a little bit about some of the things that we noticed and the things that were going on, and kind of give you our commentary. And we're just going to have fun with it a little bit. So let's go ahead and get into it. So to start off, how it began, police officer Henderson, I think is his name. He still has this notable grudge on Black Lightning and whatever he's doing, but that kind of gets averted when he notices that something shady is going on with his colleague, and he obviously has a secret that draws his attention. So.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting too, like, because in the beginning of the episode, that he kind of like walked in and like, oh, we're gonna go get Black Lightning, like he's in the alley and stuff like that, and he was kind of like, he wasn't like looking like eager, he was kind of more like, oh, okay, like kind of like taken back a little bit, like, oh, I don't know if I'm really feeling this or whatever. And then he was like asking them like, how did they even know he was there? And that was kind of shady as well. So you could tell he was kind of just looking like, I'm not really feeling this. So it was really interesting that how he kind of like changed a little bit, because before he was kind of like, oh, we need to get him, and now he's kind of like, So
yeah, and then this is one thing I've been thinking about this whole time. How in the hell did Black Lightning actually get his powers? Like, really? Like, I've been watching 6 episodes now of this show, and I still am not exactly sure how he got his powers. I mean, it's a cool dynamic. I think the show is great, but the one thing that they have fallen short on is not explaining to us, more about our hero, so we can give this character depth, so we know what he's been through or what he hasn't been through.
Right.
I mean, like, they've kind of expressed that in other shows. Like, they did a great job of it in Flash. They did a great job of it in Arrow, and I think they even did a pretty decent job of explaining Supergirl, even though we kind of knew, based off of what was going on with Superman. Right. I just wish they would explain more about his powers and how they actually developed, or was it supernatural? Was it something that he kind of acquired over time? Like, what happened?
Right. And then I thought at first, when we first started watching the show, that it was like coming from his suit. But then when he didn't have his suit on, his eyes would still change, and like you could still see the lightning and stuff. And so you're like, oh, wait a minute, no, this is him. It's like coming from his body some type of way. So I really want to know like how that happened. I mean, it's still kind of like early in the season, so maybe as it progresses, we'll kind of find out more about it. But I kind of want to see a little bit more about how this even happened. So yeah,
I think that would have been cool. But kind of moving on, Gambi, or as I call him, Young Geppetto, because he looks like Geppetto in Pinocchio. Don't ask how I got that, like where I got that from, but to me he looks like Geppetto from Pinocchio a little bit, like a young version of him, kind of. But anyway, so Gambi, as his real name is, saves Black Lightning from the police before they try to find him. So that's kind of where the next scene goes. But
yeah, and then I thought it was really interesting too how he just came like and saved him. I thought that was really cool because first of all, Black Lightning was being very careless and stupid going out there, and his body was not even 100. And Gambi trying to tell him like
he got beat.
Yeah, he got beat like by like some average dude. Yeah. I'm like, seriously, like. And he tried to tell him, like, you shouldn't go out there. You should, like, wait, figure out what's going on. He's like, oh, you move my way or I'm going to zap you or whatever. I'm looking like, seriously? Like, that's your boy. Like, he's trying to help you and you're just being careless. Like, I didn't like that. I was just like, okay, now you're just being dumb. Like.
Yeah. Well, continuing on, Tobias, who is one of our central villains. He's not our main villain because there's someone who's worse than him out there. But Tobias, by the way, is an albino black guy, and he is our main villain, and he's one of our main villains, and he is kind of like on this mission to get Black Lightning, as he's working under this woman named Lady Eve. But we'll get into that a little bit later. I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit on that. So Tobias was mad at his goon that we just talked about, the dude who Black Lightning got his butt royally whooped by. Like he had he was mad at him because he didn't finish the job, basically, because he saw that Black Lightning was down, but he didn't really like know if he was dead or not. So he choked him up and everything like that. By the way, his goon was white, and Tobias even made a reference to white people not finishing the job. Now that was kind of interesting and even a little bit ironic, because I mean, like, I think her name was Cyanide. That's his little sidekick, the lady with death in her eyes, as they described it.
Right.
She's white, and she was sitting there looking like, okay, so how am I supposed to react to that?
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, she just kind of like had that look when he was doing that, when he was choking the goon out, and he basically, like I said, wanted the job finished because he's very passionate about Black Lightning being gone. So to kind of move forward, let me just say this, okay? I get it. This is I don't want to curse here, but his ex-wife Lynn was an absolute B word. An absolute B word. Like, first of all, she went off on Jefferson and was so insensitive. Like, because first of all, Jefferson was talking about how Tobias killed his father and how, he was still, grieving over that, and he was still angered, and like his emotions were all invested in getting rid of Tobias because of it. And it's not like, she was all like, hey, you should think about that for a minute. I get that you're upset, but you shouldn't do that. It's not even like it was one of those dynamics. Like, she didn't even care. Just because he wanted to show her a little bit of love, she wanted to say, oh, your father is gone and he's not coming back. That's the first time, well, maybe not the first, but it's one of the times where I see a woman, I'm like, I just wanted to slap her. I personally wanted to walk up to her and slap her. Like, there was no reason for that. Like, I really couldn't stand, like, she's already done things to kind of irritate me. And it's kind of like that female character dynamic, that side female character dynamic of them being kind of annoying, as Iris was in The Flash, as Thea was in the beginning of Arrow. And like, it's just kind of just irritates me that she was even like that.
Yeah, she's been getting on my nerves since season 1. First of all, I called this. I said she was going to be very irritating. And I'm like, you know what? I think she's going to get on my nerves this whole season. And since season 1, I already called it. Because when she was looking all jealous or whatever in the beginning. Yeah, episode 1.
I know what you meant. Yeah.
And I'm like, this girl about to irritate me. And this episode, I'm just like, seriously? Like, he's still grieving over his father, and you're being insensitive, and you're not even supportive, and then you want to sit there and get all upset with him, and he's like madly in love with you and wants you back, but then you're like, oh, it has to be between, like, me and or the suit, or, and I'm just like, girl, you trying to, over here, like, cheating on you or something. Like, he's just trying to go out there and save the world, and you over here getting mad. It's like, girl, for real? So she was just, I wanted to punch her. I was just like, are you serious? Like, what's wrong with you?
See, you would have the credibility. Like, I mean, people, I'd go up there and I'd slap her. Everybody'd be like, oh, you just hit the woman, yada, yada, yada. But you clearly want to hit her too. You wanted to punch her.
I wanted to punch her in the throat. Like, real talk. Like, I'm like, girl, like, that. What's wrong with you? Like, seriously?
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't stand her.
Yeah, I called her. I said she was going to be irritating.
And that she was.
And she has been.
So, kind of going back on the rest of the story. So, Thunder, which is, her name is Anissa. I'm calling her Thunder because, I mean, let's be real, that's who she's going to end up becoming. Thunder was involved in a protest again. Well, it was more violent this time, and she was more so vandalizing a statue that she felt was kind of insulting, and she it kind of shows a cool character dynamic with her. I think, because it shows that kind of that activist spirit that she has, and it's a big thing, like, even in like Black culture, to have those people who want to kind of fight for their own rights, and to fight to have, like, equal treatment, or even, like, the treatment that they deserve, because equal might not necessarily be what they deserve. They may deserve more. So I just think that like, she kind of brings that dynamic to the show, and I think that it's like very interesting that they kind of like portrayed that. And then I think going further, Tobias ended up I guess like finding out like what she did when she was arrested and things like that, and he kind of explained to her about black naivete. I think that's how you say it, or naivete. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you get what I mean. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the point is that like he was trying
to
say
Tobias, or did
I say Tobias?
I don't know.
Okay,
I think it's Jefferson.
Jefferson. Yeah. That's what I don't know why I said Tobias.
I think you said Tobias.
Yeah, my bad. So yeah, we're talking about Jefferson here, not Tobias. I don't want to get you guys mixed up, so my bad. But anyway, so Jefferson basically was explaining to her basically like because of the color of her skin, she doesn't have that ability to be naive. So she has to think about that before she makes some of the decisions that she makes. Again, very interesting character dynamic with us talking about some just like black characters who are superheroes but also living in like a realistic like world. So yeah, that was another thing. And so I was just also thinking about this too, but just kind of moving forward in the story. Like every time I see Lightning, and I'm going to call her Lightning because let's be real, that is exactly who she is going to become. And I see little Jazzy from House of Pain every time I see her. I mean, like she's grown up nice. I mean, like honestly, but I mean, I just see little Jazzy every time. And like before I like made a comment or said anything about the way she looked, because she is pretty. Like I wanted to say like I wasn't sure if she was like really like 18 years old or older. So that's what I'm saying. I still was envisioning like little Jazzy, but anyway. So moving forward, so I don't like Jefferson's suit. Let's just be real. I really don't like his suit. Like in the pre-picture, like before we saw the show Black Lightning or anything like that, he looked like he was pregnant. I ain't like it. He looked like he was about to deliver like in a couple days. Like I don't understand why they gave him that suit. I don't like the design. I just haven't gotten used to it yet. It's a little better, I guess, like now that I see him fighting in an action, but I still have not gotten used to it. Like between his suit, the Flash's suit, Oliver's little like hoodie thing, and Supergirl's like obviously copy of Superman's outfit. To me, I think that his is the absolute worst. And on top of that too, like it's so bad, I'd almost say that it's on the level of how Ralph Dibny's suit it was before like they really made him elongated man. Like they basically put this man in a condom and told him that was his suit. Like they did.
It does look like he's like suffocating though. Like I'm like, how can he even breathe in that? Like I don't know. Like I mean, it is like kind of what you said. I kind of got to get used to it. And when he started fighting, I'm like, okay. But first of all, I feel like with a suit like that, like it's like you can see him from a distance. So I'm sitting there just like, I mean, like if he's on a roof or something, you'll be able to see all of that like up. It's not like it's like, oh, I'm covered up or whatever. And I guess like it don't have to be like black or anything, but it's like I just don't. He can't breathe. I'm just worried about him. Like I just don't understand.
Yeah, he does look like he's struggling.
Yeah, I'm looking like no wonder why he was in the alley. He probably couldn't breathe because of the suit. That's probably what was going on with him.
That's probably why he was losing.
Yeah, that's probably why he was.
Well, so going forward, basically, talking about, my boy Young Geppetto. I'm sorry, Gambi. So Gambi was showing his strange involvement in Tobias, in the situation with Tobias, and I think to a certain extent Jefferson was picking up on his like strange behavior, and the whole thing has been weird since like I think last episode. Like he was he had some little secret that we really don't know about, and it's just I don't know. It's kind of brewing. It brings character development, which I think is really cool, and I think it's really good. But it's like, what is he hiding? You really want to know. By the way, I just got to say this too. Jefferson's beard, his lineup is so fresh. Like, have you ever just looked at how clean it is? Like, I want to know who is the barber in Friedland. Like, I need to go to Friedland. I need to go to Friedland so that they can line my stuff up the way that they lined up Jefferson's stuff. I was like, man, this dude's stuff was crispy. But anyway, so I just had to make that point really quick. But anyway, the one clapback that I loved, and the funny thing about this clapback was I don't even think it was an intentional clapback. I just think that we all felt it when she said it. But when Thunder, I'm gonna keep calling her Thunder, not Anissa. She's Thunder to me. when Thunder was talking to her mother, and they were talking about how like she was acting all funny, as I said she was earlier, about the whole thing with Jefferson and his powers, and the thing with his dad and everything like that. They got into a conversation basically, and she was basically saying, I know what happened with like you and dad, and what severed you guys' relationship. And she was like, well honey, he wasn't cheating or anything. And she basically said, well, in your mind you believe he is. And what she said, and this was the best thing about this episode, was dad is married to saving the world, and you didn't like that you were coming in second.
Yep.
Saving the world was his woman because you were second place. And you're showing your second place because of your attitude.
Yep.
Like,
and she was mad.
Yeah, she was real mad.
She was really mad, and I was so happy. When that happened, I was like, I was over there clapping because it was so true. And she was like sitting there, like, Lynn was like all surprised because like Thunder was like, oh, I heard you guys like arguing like when I was young. She's like, oh, you heard that? And I'm thinking like, well, I mean, kids are not stupid. They know what's going on between their parents. So I'm like, I don't know why she was so surprised that she kind of knew what was going on and whatnot. But I'm like, I mean, I get you don't want to be coming in second, but ain't like he was cheating on you. He's trying to save people's lives. I mean, y'all stay in, what is it, Friedland? And it's like, it's crazy there. So I'm like, at least somebody's trying to do something. Like, if anything, you should be like supportive. And it goes back to like that whole one, I forgot what episode it was, but it was basically like Thunder was talking at the dinner table with, I think it was like the police officer, his wife, Lynn, and Jefferson. And she was basically saying like, oh, whoever Black Lightning is, he probably has support from his family and stuff like that. And then Jefferson kind of looking at like, Lynn like, And I was sitting there like, well, yeah, he doesn't have support from his family because Lynn is not supportive. She hasn't been supportive since like day one. His kids don't even really know who he is for real, so they couldn't really support him. So it was only like Gambi who he really had to support him. So it's kind of just really messed up, like how that was all going on. So
yeah, and just kind of piggybacking off of that, it's not like he even has his dad, because I mean his dad was killed,
right?
And I mean
in front of his face too, like.
So, yeah, it's like he doesn't have the support because people either don't know, or in Lynn's case, they don't care really.
Right.
So I mean, like I really kind of feel for him on that. But kind of like going forward, so Jefferson basically his desire to kill Tobias pretty much drives him the entire episode. So it continues to drive him because he ends up actually doing research on albinism and the diseases associated and like the skin effects that like it has on the people who are albinos. And he tries to figure out ways to destroy him, and he even pays a visit to his what do you call him? Would that be his doctor? I think so, yeah.
Because he kind of just pops up whenever he wants to get prescriptions. So.
Basically, yeah. But,
yeah. But I thought that was pretty interesting, too. And the fact that, I mean, Jefferson was not feeling well in this entire episode. And he was still trying to, do whatever. And then I found it kind of weird, too, because, like, Gambi was trying to talk to him through, I guess, some type of intercom thing that he has on his suit. Trying to tell him, like, Jefferson, don't do this. And then, I don't know if you guys noticed, but then, like, the intercom and, like, the camera and everything went out, which was kind of weird. And I'm like, okay, so what kind of happened? What kind of, like, interference, like, happened or whatever? I thought at first maybe Tobias may have been, like, inside or something, but he wasn't. It was just, like, the doctor guy, and kind of he just explained, like, his family, like, if he doesn't help him, his family's going to die, and he's going to die. So he didn't really have a choice. He had to do it. So it was kind of just interesting to kind of figure out, oh, what's kind of going on here? So, yeah.
Yeah. So, continuing on, well, before I continue on, I just also want to make this comment too. I think the Thunder and Lightning, and I'm just going to keep referring to them as Thunder and Lightning, but those are his two daughters I'm referring to here. Thunder and Lightning characters are really well done. Like it's unbelievable because it's funny how like they strongly mirror the characters that I saw personally in Teen Titans. In the TV show Teen Titans, they actually had a Thunder and Lightning character, and the dynamic was a little bit different because they were, first of all, male, and then they really didn't have like a race. Like I think Thunder was like a fat blue dude, and then Lightning was a really lanky yellow dude, and the two of them were causing trouble. in like the in their world, basically, because like they were causing like these thunder and lightning storms that ended up causing this great creature to basically take over. And they saw it as they were just two brothers who were having fun. And it was interesting because Thunder was a little bit more level headed and Lightning was a little bit more free spirited and just kind of had that same kind of vibe, like, like Lightning does kind of in the TV show. It's like it's the exact same way there, because it took Cyborg to really speak out to Thunder in Teen Titans and kind of get him level and say, hey, look, like all this kind of like crazy stuff is happening right now. You gotta kind of like level with me on what's going on here. And it took like Thunder to really get Lightning to settle down. I mean, he literally had to attack Lightning, but point is that like their characters strongly mirror how they are in the show. To me, Thunder is a little bit more level-headed than Lightning. Now, Thunder is more level-headed in the fact that, like she, watches out for her sister despite some of the things that she may do. Like, for example, going to that party she was not supposed to be going to, and, just things like that. Now, I mean, she has her moments of when she does stuff as well, too, like I said, with the activist stuff. But, I mean, she's fighting for a cause, whereas Lightning is just trying to be a free-spirited kid, basically. Right. So, now going forward, so since we're on the subject of Lightning, so she is speaking with her father, after seeing a video that was going around about her, basically on, I think it was social media. It was on everybody's phones, basically. And they were basically making fun of her for not being as black as she could be, or whatever the issue was, basically. And he started talking to her about this thing called the crabs in the barrel mentality. And it's really interesting because that actually happens like in real life. Blacks talking about other blacks and saying that they're not black enough or they're not meeting a certain level of blackness because of how they are and things like that. I just think that was a really like cool reference, and like I said, it really related to like things that are actually going on, and how it's really a problem that needs to be kind of talked about here. So basically, Jefferson talks to her about that, and black heritage, and basically kind of notes that like there's a certain, you don't have to have a certain mold to be black. Like you just need to just be yourself and things like that. So yeah.
I thought it was really good too, because he said black is everything under the sun, which is so true. Because a lot of times people use these different characterizations to say, "Oh, you're not black enough," or you don't talk black, or whatever. And they talked about too how it was like the good hair, bad hair, light skin, light skin, dark skin, and it just causes like division within the within blacks, and that's been happening for years. I mean, that dates back to like Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is still happening today. All it does is just cause division. And it was like really interesting. I'm glad that they really, touched on those issues, because I think we're still dealing with to this day. So I thought it was really like a powerful conversation between like his, the father and the daughter conversation as well. And, she was dealing with a lot of stuff. I mean, she had people like talking about her and talking about her relationship with like Khalil and everything like that. So it was kind of just like she was dealing with a whole lot. Mm-hmm. And I mean, kids deal with a lot of things, especially in school. Like, sometimes kids say things that are just like really, really mean. And, we don't really talk. That's good that they have that conversation between like the parent talking to their child, not kind of like getting on them, like, why are you missing? Because remember, she wasn't in class. She kind of like, went out of the classroom because she was just like so overwhelmed. Instead of him sitting there yelling at her saying, why you're not in class, he was kind of more concerned about his daughter, which was good, because that's what it's all about, having those talks, relationships, and everything like that. So I thought that was really good that they talked about that, and especially seeing, because it's a predominantly like black community, it's good to see that it's still division even within the black community. I'm glad that they addressed that, because that's something that's still happening to this day. So I thought that was really good for them to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. And kind of like going forward and piggybacking off of that, again, this is another lightning scene. So basically her relationship with Khalil, which was her boyfriend, who used to be her best friend, is pretty much falling apart. If you all don't know who Khalil is the boy who was shot during the little altercation outside where Black Lightning was supposed to be targeted, but really it was him who ended up basically taking a bullet to his spine. He ended up being paralyzed pretty much for the rest of his life, which ended his whole sports career that he had going on and everything that he had going for himself, which was, which is awful. But let's talk about, Khalil for a minute. Like, let me talk about this little asshole for a second. So first of all, Khalil blames her for being in the wheelchair in the first place. Did she shoot the gun? No. Did she like disrespect you in any way? No. She has been the only person who's been there for you. And he blames her pretty much the entire time, basically. And he mistreats her. And he called her Becky, like everybody else had been calling her, to, like to put her down about, like, her level of blackness. So he said that too, which obviously she was taken aback because you could see on her face. She was like, what? Like, did he really just say that to me? And basically, when he said that, I'm gonna be real. Like, I mean, you all may like think I'm like mean myself for saying this, but I just wanted to like take his wheelchair and like roll him while he was in it, roll him down a flight of stairs. Like, how are you just gonna say that? Like, I wanted to just say, look, I'm just gonna like, take you somewhere. It looks like you need help, sir. And I just want to roll him down a flight of stairs. I really did. Because why in the heck did he sit there and blame her, the only person who has supported her through this whole thing, for the fact that he got shot? Like, why is he even blaming Black Lightning? Because he's blaming Black Lightning as well, too. He's saying that, oh, this is Black Lightning's fault because of Tobias being in his ear. Because, really, first of all, I'd find it weird if some random dude who I ain't never met before showed up in my hospital saying, are you okay? I care so much about you being okay. Yada, yada, yada. And, and I see your anger. And, it's Black Lightning's fault. Okay? That makes no logical sense. Nope. Okay? Because how would Black Lightning get him shot? Black Lightning was right there. How would he get him shot? That was just the most ridiculous thing. I was so irritated. With Khalil. Like, I just wanted to roll him down a flight of stairs.
I just thought it was just really messed up. How he was just like so disrespectful towards her, and she like he was saying, like, she was the only one that was there for him. She had been there for him even when the stuff happened. Like, she was there like every day trying to make sure that he was okay and everything like that. And you gonna blame her? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And then, like, to sit there like, oh, because she was like saying, like, I'll pray for you. He's like, oh no, keep your prayers.
Keep your prayers.
I was sitting there just like, really?
Keep your prayers and get out.
I was sitting there just like, I was like, okay. And then, like, I think even her dad had said maybe you should give, like, Khalil some time. And she said, well, I need to talk to him or whatever. And I mean, I get that. Because, I mean, she probably didn't want him to feel like he kind of just like, she kind of forgot about him or whatever. So I get why she wanted to talk to him. But he was just like so disrespectful to her. And I mean, I get it. All of that stuff happened. But to blame the one person that's been there for you by your side since day one was just, that was so messed up. And it was wrong. And I'm just sitting there just like, when he said, I'm just sitting there like, I want to punch him in the throat. Like, I want to punch Lynn in the throat. Like, are you serious? Like, what's wrong with you?
I told you, I didn't want to punch him down the throat.
Like,
I wanted to roll him down a flight of stairs.
And I'm just sitting there just like, I'm like, why would you say that to the one person that actually really cared about you? And this whole thing with Tobias and you working with him now or whatever. I'm like, you don't know nothing about Tobias, first of all. This dude just showed up to your room, like you said, and he's over there saying, oh, yeah, I paid all your medical bills. And first of all, I'll be sitting there thinking, like, well, why? Why you want to work with me? Why you doing all this stuff for me? You're going to blame Black Lightning. Black Lightning didn't shoot me. First of all, Tobias was the one that shot him. So it's like, the only reason why he's like trying to help him for real is because his sister said, oh, you probably want to like, get on his side so that way you can kind of turn the people against Black Lightning, which is like, okay. But at the end of the day, Black Lightning did not kill anybody. If anything, he saved people's lives because some other people were going to get shot. And Black Lightning came over there and was trying to save them. So it's like, dude, for real? So that part made me so mad because I'm like, this is the one person. She's been sitting here being tortured at school. She got in a fight. People over here dogging like, Khalil at school. She has to defend him and defend herself. And you gonna sit there and be like disrespectful towards her? Out of that one person that's actually been there for you? I'm like, you could take that. And like, nah, that's just messed up.
So, kind of going forward from there, like Thunder's powers are still kind of being teased when she destroys that statue that she initially had vandalized, which I was so happy about. Like, I mean, that was the greatest way to tease her powers, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah, and I thought it was her powers are like really cool too, because like she does this like thing when she breathes in and then she just boom, and I'm just like, whoa, like she's like a badass. I'm like, oh, okay,
she's
girl.
using literal thunder. It's like the roar.
Yeah, it's like really cool.
Yeah.
Like even when she destroyed the statue, like she like stepped and then like it just destroyed. I'm like, wow. I mean, you can't say that she touched it because she technically didn't. So
exactly, they
like,
couldn't even get her.
Right.
That's why I said it was great.
Get her. So I'm like, I was like, wow. I'm really like interested to see like what else she can do with her powers once her powers like really develop and whatnot. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. But I heard powers are cool though. So
the other thing too was you know, they going forward, they showed a flashback of Tobias and his goons and how they were ravaging his father pretty much, which was just disrespectful. I was like, wow. So you know, it gave it a little bit more development, so we kind of understood the backstory of why he didn't like Tobias, and you know, I totally get it now.
Oh yeah.
So again, I just gotta say, who in the heck is this lady who has the look of death in her eyes? Like, right. I mean, I believe her name is Cyanide, but I was just thinking about this after seeing her again. Who is she? Like, what is she capable of?
Yeah. And I think it'll be interesting, too, to kind of see a little about her backstory and kind of like how she became the lady with the death in her eyes or whatever. It's kind of like interesting to kind of see like what all is going on with her. Because she's always like really quiet, but she just looks like she's like so deadly. Like if you like touch her, like you would like die or something. Like I'm like, what the heck? So I'm kind of interested to kind of figure out what's going on with her little backstory. Yeah, she looks like she's a beast too, and I'm ready for her to like really just like go at it. So I'm ready for that.
Oh yeah. So kind of going forward here, you know, I kind of like Thunder Suit, and this is Suit. You know, it's something else.
Excuse me.
Going forward, so as the story goes on, Anissa and Jefferson had a fight basically when he mistaked her for a criminal that was, you know, taking Lynn captive. Honestly, I wish it was a criminal they're taking Lynn captive. Take her and get rid of her. Get rid of her, please. I wish it was. Like, I wish that it wasn't Anissa or Thunder walking in there and trying to make sure that she was all right. Well, they got into a fight, and let's be real here. Let's be real. Thunder was whooping Jefferson. Pretty bad. Up until he did a little smooth, little sweep to her feet, and then he had electrocuted her. Like until then, he was losing that fight. Badly. Let's be real here. Because I watched it, and I was like, whoa. I was like, Jefferson, come on, bro, come on. You done lost to your daughter, who you probably got a good like maybe 70, 80 pounds on. Like you just totally like just sweeped her. Like I mean, like that's the only way that you were able to get her and electrocute her.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I mean that fight scene was crazy. I was like, whoa. And I'm sitting here just like, well, first of all, how did you not recognize that that's your daughter?
Yeah, I didn't get
like,
that either.
I'm looking like, I mean, all she had, like, she looks just like, I mean,
yeah.
I was just like, how do you not recognize? Even Lynn knew that was her daughter, but then I thought, oh well, maybe it's because like Lynn had a conversation with her and she basically was saying like, hey, Mom, I need to come. I need to like show you something. So maybe she already kind of knew something was going on. But I'm like Jefferson, and then the fact that he got his butt whooped, I'm like, dang. I'm like, okay, and that's a she. I was like, okay, girl.
Right. That scene to me was just it was a little awkward for me because I feel like that could have been easily solved. Like I feel like, you know, maybe I don't remember if like Lynn had tape over her mouth. I don't know if you remember.
She did have tape over her mouth.
What she should have done was she should have took the tape off, let Lynn talk, and Lynn say, "Hey, that's Anissa." That's what should have happened, and then that would have squashed all that.
I think Lynn was shaking her head at Jefferson like, no, like don't. But I mean, she couldn't say anything. So
still, that's body motions, though. That's why I said that she should have took the tape off. That way, like she could have said, Jefferson, no, that's Anissa. No, that's Anissa. Then that would have squashed that whole thing. So really, Anissa should have made that move real quick because at that point, like it actually would have looked as though she was trying to save her. Because really, that's what she came there for. She should have continued the job. To me, that was a little awkward, but I guess it was necessary. Mm-hmm. It was necessary because we had to see the conflict cause. I guess like them to be able to see who one another was, but he hurt her pretty badly, and she ended up having to go to the hospital for that. So, continuing on with the story, basically, Gambi had a conversation with Lady Eve, who was our main villain, and it kind of still teased that secret. Like Gambi is doing something real shady. We really don't know what he's doing. And I think that that's making a good character development because it makes us interested too in the story and some of the things that kind of happened in the past and really like what deal did they make, like is this deal to protect Black Lightning from something or was it to protect him in the past? Is it because he's trying to betray him? I don't think it's betrayal personally because I just don't get that vibe. I get that vibe that he may have done something that was questionable, but it was for a good purpose. That's kind of where I'm feeling right now about it. But I want to know what it is that he is hiding, and Lady Eve is obviously not giving us too much light on because of her obviously evil stance in this entire show. But
go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, it's okay.
No, I was gonna say I too gonna want to see like what's going on and what he's been hiding because clearly he's like even when he had seen Tobias like in the car from like I forgot what episode that was when they had like the whole rally and whatnot. He didn't say anything to Jefferson, so I'll start ask like sitting there with question marks like, well, why didn't you say anything to Jefferson? And then even when he had noticed like Thunder, he didn't know it was Thunder or Anissa at the time, but when he had seen like her step into the ground and then whatever, he went over there and like examined it, but didn't say anything to Jefferson either. So it's kind of made me feel like, why are you not telling Jefferson different things? And I'm thinking like, okay, what deal do you have with Lady Eve? Like, what's going on with that? So it just, I've been like wondering like, kind of what's going on with that. And then like, I think Lady Eve even said like, if, Tobias gets found out about what's going on with him, then you're going to pretty much get, your stuff out as well. So of course he doesn't want that, but I'm like, okay, so what's going on with that? And then I think they talked about too, how, he had basically trained her or something like that, or they had a relationship or whatever, and how he retired. And I'm like, retired from what? So it's kind of just like a lot of question marks on like what's going on and kind of like, where's this whole deal? What's all entitled with this deal? Because I remember him saying like, Jefferson's family was like off limits because they had went and attacked Lynn. So I'm thinking like, wait, why were they off limits? So it's kind of like all these questions kind of like generating. So I'm really interested to see kind of like where it's going to go and what's going on with that and what deal they had. So, yeah.
I think I mentioned this before, kind of like, just finishing everything up. Jefferson and Nissa find out about each other. So, I guess it's cool because of the fact that we get to see, this coming up week, like what's going to happen with that whole dynamic of them knowing who each other is. Are they going to start working together? Or is Jefferson going to be the protective father and say, you need to stay out of this? Is Anissa going to fight back if he does? Like, it's so interesting to know what we're going to see. And then I think the only thing I'm not really anticipating is how annoying Lynn's going to be. Oh, my daughter can't do this either. Just like, you're going to be just like your father. Yada, yada, yada. That's what I see happening. I pray that it doesn't happen because I don't want to like sit there and just think about how I just want to slap this woman again. But I have a feeling that she's going to tempt me to think about all the ways that I want to slap, punch, kick, everything to her because of how annoying she is. I think that that's what this is going to bring. But I'm hoping that it just teases the fact that they're going to work together.
Hopefully they do work together. That will be cool to kind of see that. I mean, and Anissa, like, she's a badass. So I feel like that'll be like a really good, that way he has somebody kind of watching him, his back as well. He's out there in the field with him. And hopefully, since it's Lynn's daughter, she will be way more supportive because she's not been supportive of
I wouldn't put money on it
at all. I'm hoping, but I don't think it's gonna happen. She's probably gonna be like, "Oh, now your daughter wants to be just like you," and "Oh, it's the addiction." And I'm gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, can you please shut up? Like, just stop it." She said that in one of the episodes. I was really irritated when she said that, so I had to bring it up in this because that was just irritating.
Right, until Gambi clapped back.
Yeah, Gambi clapped back on her. So, anyways. Like, I hope that they do like kind of like work together because that'll be really cool. And I mean, Jefferson's gonna need somebody to have his back out there because he has so many people like against him. It'll be really good. And this is already kind of like, I don't like this. She's already like, going out there and like, protesting everything else. So she'll be the perfect person for that job. So I hope that they do end up working together, and I hope Lynn is supportive, even though I feel like she ain't gonna be. She gonna be complaining and doing whatever and getting on my nerves again. But, maybe they'll change it. I won't, you know, bet money on it because I don't really know because she's already been irritating. But hopefully they do work together. I think it's good they did find out about each other too because now, like, Anissa kind of has somebody that, you know, that kind of maybe explain to her how she got her powers. Maybe then we'll get a little backstory on Jefferson and how he got his powers because now, like, his child has it too. So clearly it's something in him that, you know, got the powers, like, you know, whatever. So hopefully we'll kind of like see that a little bit more. So that'll be interesting.
Yep. So that's pretty much all we got for today. That's kind of like a summary of like what, you know, we had seen in this episode and then what we kind of want to see going forward, and, you know, just our predictions as well too. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did watch this and you liked what we had and you want to see more of the two of our faces, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. Like, do not leave this video without hitting that subscribe button. You see my finger pointing at it. You ain't seen my finger this whole time, but now you're seeing it. Pointing to that subscribe button. Y'all better click that subscribe button. Because what's going to happen... He's silly. What's going to happen is... we're gonna have a lot of more videos to come. We got a lot of like really cool information, some things to talk about in the superhero world and the supernatural world, because I mean we don't just talk about DC shows and Marvel shows. We talk about a lot of really interesting stuff as well too. Right. So, you know, like I said, just kind of pay attention and look forward to that. Again, if you want to continue to just see our videos, then like I said, just subscribe. We got a lot more to come. And we actually have another video that's going to be coming out soon. That one's going to be kind of doing a review of the show Gotham, so it'll be a little bit of a different feel from us talking about some of these black shows that we love so much, which, I mean, is always good too, because, I mean, like, I'm a Gotham fan, I'm an Arrow fan, I'm a Flash fan, so, and she is too. So, I mean, like, we'll definitely kind of get into those as well. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, but keep tuning into Team Magnet TV.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
See you.